felt that once again that it was important for us to take a break and actually organize what we have and actually understand what we have.
Mm-hmm. Last but not least, okay, people, the This or That segment, which is sponsored by the Flight Assessment. Discover your personal superpower and learn how to use your superpower to become a master communicator, strengthen all your relationships, and develop the self-awareness you need to fulfill your highest potential. Go to flightassessment.com. Now, the question that I have when it comes to this or that is, should we take a break from creating? Is it smart? With such the demand and such the competition that we have on social media, with the influx of all these content creators we talked about, is it smart to take a break? And Swiss Beats was recently on The Breakfast Club, and he said something about this that I really want to have a conversation about. So let's listen.
Felt that once again that it was important for us to take a break and actually organize what we have and actually understand what we have. Mm-hmm. You know, because things be moving so fast and you just so caught up in the matrix, and it's all of the hype and you leaving so much on the table. You missing so many amazing opportunities to really monetize what you've built and put your time into. Like,
Moose.
And I was just having this conversation today because shout out to our guest who came today that just fed me all this content, I guess, indirectly. But they said, "Oh, do you work every day?" And I said, "Man, I do. I actually do. I work every day. Not every day, maybe a full day. I'm talking about, 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour type days. But I'm doing something every single day, 7 days a week. It doesn't stop." And the question was, like, why do you feel you need to? Why do you feel you need to stay plugged in and all the time and going and locked in and doing stuff? Is it productivity guilt? I said, it might be, but I also feel that it's because I'm starting to see, just through my own personal experience, and this is what works for me, so I encourage everyone listening and watching to find out what works for you, is that I'm not at a point where I'm sharp and gifted enough in the space where I can take time off and come back and not lose a step. Mm-hmm. I need to stay plugged in to keep my same focus and intensity and just tempo overall. And when I'm plugged in and I don't miss a beat, I don't have to come back and then catch up and do all this whole cycle just to get even keel and then see what's to move. But what I am challenging myself to do, I think my break lies in, and this is a little bit unorthodox, but again, it's what's working for me. My break lies in thinking more about the future than worrying about everything that's happening today. It gives you a little bit of time, right? Okay. When I jump ahead to the future and I start thinking about, okay, how do I innovate? How do I move differently? How do I make sure that it's unique and better than just what the masses are doing? And how does that continue to scale? How does it reduce stress and preserve or create a better lifestyle? You start to almost buy yourself time just because you're not playing catch up all the time. So that's the only thing. For me, I haven't found a way to take a break and not fall behind. So my answer is, okay, stay plugged in. But throughout the process, don't just stay plugged in for the sake of staying plugged in, meaning you're so present to today, that's all you think about. No, but stay plugged in so that with what you're gathering, you're thinking ahead. And as you get better, by the way, this becomes easier to do. You start to think about, oh, wait, this looks similar to what's happened previously. So I know there's maybe not much opportunity or scale here, or it's going to just recreate something that I don't really want. But this path, this opportunity, this presents a different experience. So let's think about how do we bring that over here? And that's what's creating the pocket of time now where I'm plugged in every day, but not exhausted or tired or that whole thing. So that's my short answer to it.
I think it's important to take breaks from in seasons. And what do I mean by that? So like there's certain things that like I'm creating that even though I'm very present on social media every single day, our YouTube channel is very present. Everything is certain consistency. There is one or two things that have been created that has been on pause to see how do we further this more. Have I really looked at all the opportunities that I can do? I've done so much creation that I've skipped out on a lot of money because of going in the typical creator route of just creating. And I think in this recent season, there has been one particular thing that I've been really putting a pause on and trying to really come up with a strategy for those people who follow me. I did like this small series called Content Therapy. And it was actually a really good hit for people. And I stopped it at about seven episodes, right? Seven to eight, something around there. And really sat back to think about, okay, that was a series. This wasn't just one of your normal updates and that whole nine. That was a series that really took some type of creative writing, set up that whole nine. How are we going to monetize this? How are we going to get people to look forward to it to now where we brought it back in a small dose on Wednesdays on my IG Live, calling it Content Therapy, where we're now creating a audience for it, where people will come on live. It'll be like a personal one-on-one. My introverts are able to ask questions, and I'm taking that data of who will show up, how many people will come in, and then figure out how do we expand it into a season 2 of the series. How do we take some of the lives and how do we monetize it? How do we make it now a real live show, maybe on YouTube? How do we then create a community from it? How do we create merch from it? How do we create virtual and live experiences from it? Just from a sample of 7 videos that I had created before. So there's nothing wrong with, in my opinion, taking a break from certain things that you're creating to be able to strategize on it and to come back with intentions. Because I know for me, I can create with the intentions of the audience, but not necessarily with the intentions of monetizing all the time, or with the intentions of how can this turn into a business all the time, or a certain business model. And now I'm being intentional with stop leaving coins on the table because you're so creative, because you just want to be present for people. You have that on lock. Being present is not a problem anymore. It is about how do we stay present and how do we get the funds to continue to stay present. Because if not, at a certain point, I'm just going to be one of those broke, starving artists, just loving creating content for the people. And now I'm like, where is this source of money to continue to do what I do online, and being able to diversify in different ways with one source, gathering that, making another source, gathering that, making another source. So nothing hiccups. So I'm for the creative pause for that.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Yeah. Nah. It's how did you overcome that? How did you overcome the part of saying, okay, I'm not going to just take care of the people without taking care of myself in the process?
I can't take care of the people without resources. So if I want to, and this is no offense. Oh my God, there's no offense. I want to start there. No offense. But I don't want to be one of those people that has to rely on social media from selling courses and all that to make majority of my money.
That's right. 100%.
I don't want to do that. I promise you, I need to get a shirt or whatever. I want to get creative with the connection. I want to be able to show, look, I have an amazing audience. I have an amazing community. And here are the different ways that we're going to be able to monetize it that almost feels more like support than necessarily I'm paying into your riches. It's
right.
more of I am contributing to make sure this continues to go on in higher levels and have the people wanting for it to increase in production, and wanting it to increase in different people in that whole nine. So becoming more community driven, but as well as being intentional with not getting so caught up in the impact. I have that on lock. I don't have to prove no more on that. Not saying I'm going to slow down, but I have that pretty much on automation. I know exactly what is there to bring brand awareness. And for those people who are listening, be very intentional with what is going to bring you brand awareness. Understand that formula. And so when you need to pull out that card, do it in a matter of seconds, right? So I'm very aware of what's going to bring the brand awareness. So I don't have to chase followers. I don't have to chase engagement. I don't have to chase none of that. But what I have to be intentional with, what are the different sources so I can give better experiences for my community.
That's good, Nix. That's good.
Yay.